welcome back to the Rip Through It podcast, episode 19, sponsored by our great friend Joey Fortune.
Joey!
And let me tell you, things are starting to heat up towards the Amy Community Series. It's getting busy in the AFL world. Mitch, what did you get up to on the weekend?
Matho, that was his first intro of his career at Rip Through It podcast, and round of applause, everybody. Mate,
Moving up in the world.
That was elite, mate. You can take over. I'll just fucking sit here and do your job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mate, weekend. Went down to Melbourne for the weekend. I had to do a charity event for some friends on the Friday. I got pretty tipsy. I did a really open and honest chat because I was being interviewed on stage.
Yeah.
I was only meant to go for like 20 minutes. Open, honest about everything. So this is like a little segue to an autobiography that I could potentially write one day. I don't know. I killed it. I got that much feedback. I left the thing feeling amazing. Was pretty tipsy. I gave the people enough to know like what was happening during the career and like the booze cruise and all the stuff that happened in the Blues when I got, cut and all that stuff. But like I never named names. So it was really good. Interview, loved it.
Speaking about the Blues, you returned to your home ground there?
I did. Back down to where it all started, mate, 17 years ago. Like it was crazy to like, I've only been there once in from a non-playing perspective. We trained there a couple of times for like, preseason and stuff, play down there, whatever it was, VFL and all that kind of shit. But it was actually really good. Got down there. I just went down just to like suss out what's going on with the Blues, Saints, get a little bit of footy taste because, as you know, I'm getting into it this year.
Did they give you wristbands for the change rooms after the game?
No, but shout out to the Blues because they were actually looking after me. They gave me the invitation to be able to interview a couple of players after. So shout out to Claire and Will down at the media down at the footy club. Didn't do it because I only watched a half and I was like, nah, fuck this. I can't bother doing it. Okay. Got up my content, interviewed the fans. That vlog's dropping probably, this will come out Wednesday, so it would have been last night. If you're just seeing this, go watch it on my YouTube. But it was actually really good. The fans got around me. They still have a soft spot for Rob Dog.
They still have a soft spot for the ginger nut.
They do. They
love the rough nut.
They get around me. They get around me, which I
love you. They do love you.
But it's the same with Brisbane. All the fans still get around me, but they're still obviously probably salty from shit I said. But you know what? Fuck yous. I don't know who I'm going to go for this year.
I know. I think you're going for Gold Coast.
No, I'm not even joking. I think I might go for Gold Coast. I feel like going for an underdog. Okay. I don't know why.
I want to see you in the pink jersey.
I'll definitely get the pink jersey. Don't you worry about that. But it was a good trip. Had the anniversary with the missus on the Sunday. Went to a fancy pants restaurant. Spent $400 there, which I was like, what the fuck?
That hurt.
It was crazy. It hit the bank, but I didn't get her a present.
Yeah.
I got a flowers this year. So, it was a good trip. And I'm thinking about doing a week on, week off down there.
Damn, you've got the passion back.
I do. Because
you got a footy bug early. I want you to stay consistent with this.
I'm going to try. Matho, I'm going to try. Because
I'll help you.
Because you come into these podcasts and we talk a little bit about what we're going to go through beforehand. Nothing major. No. But you know footy. I know footy if I watch it. I know everything. And I obviously have a lot of social media stuff going on, so I see everything. But you know footy. And a lot of people think, Matho and Robbo, they're probably like dumbasses. No, we are footy IQ.
No, I love it. I love watching it. So I got to watch a few games.
How many games did you watch?
I think I got in 4 off the top of my head, 4 this weekend.
How many was there?
I watched the triple header because the Brizzy boys were playing in it.
Now run me through that. Was during that game, did Gold Coast play against the seniors? Either of the teams? Or was it a mixture?
It was a mixture. Brizzy still had some of their good players on leading into the Gold Coast game, but you see they started to weed them out very quickly. Yeah. Some of the guys that played the first half didn't play at all.
It's all about GPS numbers.
It is, and it's a hard one, the triple header, because you've got a team coming on fresh versus a team that's already exhausted for a half, and then you got poor Collingwood to cooling down for a next game, bringing in a bunch of new players and some players that have to cool down and get ready again. So
it's risky business.
I don't like the triple headers.
It sucks.
It's stupid. Yeah. I don't like it.
It's fake news that because our mate or your mate, I don't know, like the bloke, he just pissing me off so much. Ben Cole, and he's going to watch. He's probably the most avid listener we have. Yeah. He's a fucking annoying. Yeah. Like, I'm not even joking. He's annoying. Like the guy, but just too much. He was having a crack at us because he was saying, Gold Coast beat Collingwood and Brizzy.
It's troubling signs.
It's because we got into him about the Indigenous All-Stars beating Fremantle, but like pumping them.
Yes.
And that's the best they had to choose from. Obviously, they had 8 players out at Freo Dockers, but still. So he tried to give it back to us, and we shut him down, but he just doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand. But that's fan talk, everyone back and forth. So,
what other games did you watch? Anything that like kind of tickled your nuts? Because I've really had a few players that played some good footy on the weekend, and they're genuine. There's a few stars and a couple players who've showed spurts. So from the weekend's games, Amadi kicked 6 goals. Yes. So that's pretty good. Doesn't matter if you break your match or not.
You want that form coming into the season.
You love that form. You're thinking how easy
6 is 6.
6 is 6, exactly. We had Jack Steele. I saw it live. He just doesn't get any worse. Like, he just keeps continually being a good player, under player. 31 disposals, 10 tackles. Like,
Captain of St Kilda, it's what you want, hey?
Especially when they're throwing around cash, they want to be like, where's my fucking money? Will Day, 19 touches, 2 goals. Errol Gordon, as we know, 32 on a goal. Like, he's a gun. He's not an A-grader, but he's a gun. Any players you saw during the games or any like...
Well, yeah, like I like watching my mates play as well.
As you do.
One of them, Harry Sharp for Melbourne.
Sharpie!
He's getting a run, and I've been speaking to him. His potential, chance for round one with a few of their injuries and stuff. But he kicked 4 goals playing from the wing. Our guy, Harry Sharp.
I didn't even see that.
It doesn't get mentioned much. I know. I see Melbourne, put up a few things and stuff like that. But
yeah, of course, their social team will. But like, why isn't he getting a little pat in the back?
I reckon just give him a little bit more. He's just walked into a new club, sort of first hit out against an opposition. 4 goals.
Sharpinator, that's a leap by you, mate. Like I didn't know how you're going to go. I thought he's going to get some Ks up. 4 goals. You're just saying, haha.
And then obviously we know the concerns of the injuries it was all to these new draftees.
Yeah, true.
You've got is it Jagger Smith? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
He's done an ACL.
It was heartbreaking.
It's hard to watch.
So I went down to the game and I went into the game wanting to talk about him. So I interviewed all the Carlton people I spoke to, and I haven't heard a praise for a bloke since I witnessed like Mark Murphy, Cruiser, and Bryce Gibbs, like those top draft picks. They were saying he's going to be better than Walsh. He's going to be future captain. He's captain all his rep teams that he's been through. They were literally saying like he's going to be the next big thing.
It's heartbreaking.
So that was like, I left at halftime.
Yeah.
He was going really well, doing good things. I filmed a little bit of him for the vlog. Left at halftime because it was like 37 degrees and it was windy as shit. I was over it. Got a little notey on the phone. AFL popped up and it said he's hurt his knee. But the coaches said post-game that, oh, no, it's just a knock. He should be right. He was doing run-throughs and shit.
Yeah.
With ACLs, we know.
You can run straight.
You can do some, you can move, like it's a excruciating pain, and then like within 10, 15 minutes, you can like go straight line. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the next day on Sunday, it got released that he did his ACL, and I was like, oh, my God.
And then, obviously the number 1 pick, his jaw, he has a little, and then you've got Gold Coast number 1 pick, that Leo Lombard, and
but he tried to dog shot one of the boys.
He tried to get Ashcroft in a hard tackle, and he come off second best.
Yeah.
So
the Ashcrofts, they know how to move around the ground.
Yeah, they do. He
Those
dipped the
boys
shoulder. Are very good. So he dipped it. It popped out.
Is it surgery?
Some of the NRL greats actually comment on it and not happy with the tackle technique.
Really?
Yes, I watched it on the news last night.
What did he try and get too low or went too square?
Come out with his shoulder too much and then Levi Ashcroft, he looked pretty good for Brisbane.
Yeah.
Did some good things.
17 touches.
Yeah, got busy. So that's good signs.
What the hell are those Ashcroft boys doing? I know they're absolutely footy like nerds and they just live and breathe it. The dad's obviously a legend of the Brisbane Lions. Yeah. The medal's named after the dad for the Gold Coast v Brizzy game. There's one story that I want to talk about. Will Ashcroft came up to the Lions. I played VFL with him and I was like, oh shit, he's going to be a good player. I played in Sydney. My first VFL game was embarrassing as fuck for me, but I played it anyway. Dominated, whatever. So he was staying at, I'll just say, a player's house for a couple of weeks. This is how much he loves footy. When they were doing the national anthem, ex-player was like laying on the couch, just chilling out, had the hat on, obviously, all that kind of stuff. Will Ashcroft stands up, takes the hat off, hand on heart, starts singing the song, the national anthem, and just like...
in the living room.
In the living room.
Yeah.
That player was on the couch going, oh my God, this guy, he's different breed.
Yeah.
He's different breed. And asked Ashcroft why he was doing it. He's like, I'm just trying to imagine myself doing this.
Very good.
It's amazing. So these kids like coming into the system these days, ridiculous.
They're above and beyond.
And
Brizzy find another one down forward in Ty Gallop. He's an academy pick. Tom Rockcliffe was commentating that game and had some pretty good comments about him. And now he's a bolter for round 1. Whether he plays or not, I don't know. But he looked very good.
Tommy Rockcliffe said he's
very good.
He's give him a couple of years. He's going to be a superstar of the competition.
Could be one of the best for that sort of generation.
What is he? Just key forward, big boy.
A key forward.
What about that other bloke who just won a granny with us?
Logan Morris.
Yeah. What about him? Is he out now?
No, he showed some very good signs as well. So.
Geez, fucking no worries. You lose Danaher and you got these guys coming
through. These guys are kids, key position players. Give them a chance. Give them some time.
Yeah. No, mate, I'm not jumping on any of these guys anytime soon. Love Rocky, but...
The kids stood up. It was a good week, but
they lost.
Obviously, we got some bad news.
Do you read into the results at all or nah?
I read into it to a point.
There's some concerns
for some teams, I still think.
100%. And we've said on the past episode, don't worry about preseason results, but we don't care about the results. It's the effort and how they look when they lose.
Yeah.
Don't care if they lose by 40 or lose by 4.
And it's just some like concern. And the North Melbourne is still one that's concerning me.
Talk to me.
They got absolutely pummeled in the last
I didn't even see the
quarter.
score. Who they play against?
Melbourne. So Sharpies.
Oh, it was like 140 something, wasn't it?
Yeah, they got 10 goals they lost by in the end. So
there's excuses that will come out saying it's we just tried new things, we brought players in different positions, yada yada.
Just as a watcher, there's just concerns.
You're watching the game going, oh, they look shit.
Yeah, that doesn't look great.
So it's going to be Kangaroos and Richmond.
Let me say, I don't know what they're talking about in the rooms, but from the naked eye, I would say, there's still a concern this year around them.
Shit.
And yes, they're still building, but are they going to get better?
How long are we going to say they're still building for, man? I'm sick of fucking hearing that.
I know.
I'm sick of hearing, we're still building. How many years do you need? I want to give
teams benefit of the doubt.
No. So, you give players benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
you don't give teams. Don't sit on that fence.
And the other concern for me is now Carlton with their injuries. And it's always something. And our guy, not our guy, but a guy that has a podcast, Dan Gorringe, we know he's known as lids off, lids on.
Yeah.
He's got the bucket I've seen on a clip and locked it up and said, we'll be in 2026.
He's passionate Blues too.
So he knows, he does all their stuff and whatever. So
and some of us for show, but you can tell. Like I was interviewing some fans during the game, and they were saying our injuries aren't concerned. We're going to get these players back before round 1, all that kind of stuff.
For me, Blues are concerning. I mean, they're meant to be making. You have them down for the 8, right?
Yeah.
They only sort of just got in there last year.
Just skimmed through.
Are they going to make the 8 this year? That's what's concerning for me because I would have them probably in there with a full fit team. They're in there for me.
Healthy list, boss.
Right now, I'm concerned about it.
Yeah. You know what time it is, Resource? It is our favourite segment of the week. It is Joe Arse, our major sponsor. And he's sitting back. He wants to know what's going on with these contracts. Now, we've spoken about it before, but it just keeps on rearing its head up out of the ground. Another crazy contract offer. And I just want to say, are these even real contract offers? Because they could be just made up.
At this point, it's beyond me. What I'm about to talk about is beyond me, and I don't understand. Because there's millions and millions of dollars getting thrown around all of a sudden, and I'm thinking where is this money coming from?
I don't know, because each club, this is real facts, each club has a salary cap of $15,788,000 per club. Now, do the maths, you can spread that out. You can have front-ended contracts, you can have heavily back-ended contracts. So if a team wants to sign a player now for 10 years, they can say, okay, average salary for 5 years, we want to win the premiership within those 5 years.
Yeah.
Back 5 years, we'll just pay you out the bum cheeks. Doesn't matter where we go, we want to win soon. So players can do that. You can opt to have a front-ended or back-ended or just scatter it through. But it is this mind-boggling, Resomatic, $17 million 10-year offer for young gun Finn Callahan.
1.7 a year,
Yeah, 1.7 a year.
And there's 40 guys on a list.
44 players.
You've got to spread out a lot of money, and that's a lot of money for one player. This is why maybe they found a cheat code here.
Moneyball. They've got the guy from Moneyball, Brad Pitt's down here.
Something's going on here because
I don't know.
These contracts are getting ridiculous.
It just Harley Reid
cap. 20 mil over 10 year sort of deals and rumoured to be.
Yeah. So just for a couple, Hayden Young extended for 7 years. That would surely be some good coin. Harley Reid, you just mentioned, 20 mil over 10 years. De Koning, 12 mil over, who cares how long? Still 12 mil. This is just a regular thing. And you've talked about it a few times. It's just like a regular occurrence now. We see this and we just numb to the fact.
Is it becoming the norm now?
It feels like it is. But I see this deal. This morning I saw this thing and I was like, Finn Callahan. He's getting offered $17 million. I went through his stats this year. He played 24 games, 2 finals, averaged 23 disposals, 3.6 tackles, 3.4 clearances, only kicked 2 goals, 7.8 contested possessions. So if you're inside midfielder, you want to be around 8 to 10. Yeah. Half your touches are contested, surely.
Yeah.
Unless you can do both. He only had 16 1%ers. So that's a long chase, spoil, just the nitty-gritty shit that some players don't like doing. And he only had 1 contested mark. And it got me thinking. So this player had 23 games, including 2 finals, and these are both in their 3rd years.
Okay.
He averaged 22.4 disposals, 4.2 tackles, so it's a lot of tackles, 3.17 clearances. He kicked 10 goals for the year, 9.6 contested possessions on average, 52 1%ers. So he was in and under doing all those hard things. 14 contested marks, so he could play above his head. Do you reckon that bloke just automatically deserves to get that kind of contract offer? Or is like he should be on a lot of money regardless? If that's going off basis for third year.
Well, yeah, if you're putting two blokes as a comparison, I know who I'm giving mine to.
Which one?
It was the second one you read out. I'm doing it off paper.
That's paper. That's those stats are better. That's fucking me, Reese. That is Mitch Robinson in his third year at the Carlton Footy Club, playing with the likes of Judd. We got Gibbs, Murphy, Cruz is in there.
Eddie.
We got Eddie can play midfield. We got Carrazzo, Nick Stevens, Heath Scotland.
Yeah.
Like, mate, Ed Kerno. That's just like, where was my $17 million contract offer?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't see the value in you that maybe they see in this kid. This is what we're going to take.
He probably has more upside, right?
Right? We're going off potential. But again, if I'm them, it's a lot to invest.
I'm not.
I'm
not doing it.
He's a very good player.
Is he? Because you watching him last year. I didn't know who he was until I read his
He's a very
stats.
damaging player.
In terms of what?
And then when he's up and going, he's very good. His running carry is good. He's got a good kick. He's a good player. But 1.7 mil is a lot to invest to someone if, you can't get them fit. There's all these factors to take in. There's going to be injuries, all this stuff. It's a lot to throw at one player.
The only way I'm throwing $17 million at a player, 1.7 a year, he has to be a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. He has to come into the system. The only player right now in the AFL who I think should be on that money, like upwards of 1.7 mil, is Nick Dacos.
I would agree with that.
That's the only player.
Yep.
Like Coleman medalists aren't kicking they average 3 or 4 goals a game. Cool. Yep. They're popping up every year, these players, these forwards.
Yeah.
The only player that he can win a game, like literally change a game with his own bat. You try and tag him, doesn't matter. Like he still gets the job done, gets touches, might get some junk here and there. They all do. Who cares? He's the only player I think in the AFL who should be deserving of these contracts. And we know that he's probably highest paid player at Collingwood Footy Club. Probably.
Yeah. They've
got some guns in there as well.
I would agree with that right now.
That's the only player I can think of. This Finn Callahan, cool. You just touched on he's going to be a good player. He's a pretty handy player. You need to fucking sell me something more than just that for 17 mil.
Yeah.
St Kilda can't be seriously throwing this money around. De Koning, 12 mil. This bloke, 17 mil. It can't. They're not the North Melbourne.
Well, yeah, I don't know. And that's why I said this is beyond me. Because
I can't fathom it.
It's becoming, I think I mentioned in the podcast, it's leaning into that American side of sport now where it's the lower end of their contracts, but a lot of guys are getting some big money these days.
These recruiters know what they're doing. They're getting paid for this shit. They've got great accountants. They probably have some spreadsheets that we've never seen before in our life.
Absolutely.
But I just can't fathom the calculations they're going to do to have other players and guns and keep them and bring in other players. They must be so excited about the depth they have and players coming in or they know some shit we don't know.
I still think you can get 2 genuine A graders for that price.
100%.
And I mean genuine A graders.
100%. Oh, you could get Clary and Petrarca for $1 million each a year.
Yeah.
Sign them for 10 years each.
Yeah.
That's, to me, if you want to be in that premiership window, which Saints aren't near at all, maybe they can get close to the 8. But they're not winning a grand final. They're going to get better. From what I saw on the weekend, they look good. Potentially 3 All-Australians in that team in Steele, Wangani Malera, and probably Rowan Marshall.
Yeah.
They're the only 3 players that I think are guns. But as we know, Matho, he's signed with JWS for 4 more years, so that's irrelevant. Means nothing.
Yeah.
But players now know who are going to St Kilda, hey, you've got some cash.
Yeah.
Show me some more of that X's and O's, baby. But I don't know. It's he say, she say. I want to see that contract offer. Whoever his manager is, be the guy that we know you can be, leak the contract offer.
Do it.
Unless it's a verbal agreement or some shit. I don't know. But mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing stuff happening in the AFL with contracts. Mind-blowing.
Get out of here. All right, Matho, the SSP has finished the supplement selection period and there was 12 players signed to an AFL list. Congratulations, you went through it. You got it done. You're on a list. Good luck for the rest of your career. Now, there's 2 ACLs on the weekend. We obviously know that at Melbourne Demons and the Carlton Footy Club, and there's been an extension for both those teams to sign a player. I think that's cool, great. But when these players who are training with the club, 2 or 3 players can train with the club over the over the pre-season.
Little
train-ons.
Yeah.
But they can't play in any legitimate practice matches. They can.
The fuck?
I know. I know. So they can train in unorganised practice matches. So if Brizzy play Gold Coast, a little one down the park.
The ones we had on the weekend just gone.
Just intra-clubs, but against another team. But they can't play in the up-and-coming Amy series unless they're signed to a team because they're not AFL players, which I think is dumb as dog shit.
Yeah, give them a go.
You don't get to see if they're any good or not. Anyone can be good in an intra-club. Doesn't mean anything.
But the Melbourne one caught my eye. Jack Henderson. He was training at West Coast. He actually played in their game against Richmond.
Hang on. I thought you said he's signed to Melbourne.
Yes. This is where it gets funny. So he does a week with West Coast, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
Then plays the game, plays against Richmond. All of a sudden, you see a news headline, he's signed with Melbourne.
So he's gone over to play,
I think
train with West Coast and then sign with Melbourne.
They've gone, what the fuck? You just took our player? But I'm not really sure how that works, but Melbourne gone, yep, bang, we're signing you.
They did sign a Jai Colony or some shit in there.
Jai Cullen too. He was from West Coast. So maybe Melbourne just have something against West Coast.
I don't know, maybe they're trying
anyway,
to
I found that one very interesting, how he's played over at West Coast, trained there for a week, got around all those boys. Potential teammates.
Yeah.
Next minute, Victorian club, Melbourne goes, no, you're playing for us.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, what's West Coast's game plan at the moment? You're like, oh, well, funny you ask, Goody. Here you go, mate.
Bang.
Boom. They don't probably need it when they're playing against West Coast, but still.
Anyway, I found that one very interesting. You know, good on him. Yeah. But I mean, it was just it's a funny little period, this one.
Imagine going training with an AFL team and then just getting in the call from the manager saying, hey, Demons want you. Where do you want to go? Fucking Demons, obviously.
Bang, back home.
Back home. Love that.
So he's just played a game with them thinking, maybe I'm a chance here over in WA, get on their list.
He would play every game.
Next minute, Melbourne go, you're coming with us.
Yeah, I think it's strange, and I think they're all looking at it. They're talking about it. They're looking at it. I think they're going to change it so we can actually see these players in the community.
We want to see them
series.
play. If they're good enough, play them.
I'm sure the coaches do too.
Yeah.
Before they make a selection on it, so it's hard because there's injuries and stuff going on, and then you get 2 ACLs, and they've got to change some stuff. Two other teams, Melbourne and Colton, they get an extension. Awesome, but still, it's weird.
But congratulations to those guys. It's
all of you ledge osses. Good shit.
It's good. Never give up. There's a way in. If it's your dream, you'll find a way.
It's preach, man.
It's been in the headlines. We used to have this game back in the day. We've sort of flirted with it like a little date out on a night out. We've had it come back in.
I don't like that.
We've half-assed it a bit. It's the state of origin.
Oh, I've seen a lot about this.
Do we want it?
Fuck yeah, we want. I want it. The only thing that pisses me off with the NRL is that they've got this over us. So when I first got up here to Brizzy, I went to a State of Origin game. It was probably the best atmosphere and game I've ever been to, other than an AFL Grand Final.
Yeah,
I'll
give them that.
It was right up there.
Yep.
But they're so cocky, thinking like it's their thing. We were doing this back in the 80s and 90s. SA versus Vic, WA was involved. Even Tassie played against these teams like back in the day. And they sold out every game. It had so much feeling, passion, and pride attached to it. So I just don't understand where it went away, when and where. Why did it stop? I don't know. Like it sells games. I know the AFL's got more money and a lot more investors into it. Sponsors, obviously, you want your best team on the park.
We always show clips about it too.
Always
flashbacks, always, and it looks awesome.
And you speak to ex-players who played in these, and they always say it was like one of the best games, like the feeling was you can't get it. And Australia against Ireland, that's shit. I've played in that. Like we were pissed every night before the game. Like we didn't take it serious at all. No one cares because it's not AFL.
Yeah.
But when you're playing for your state, it means more than the game itself. Like you're trying to represent everybody, and everyone knows. Like if you don't like a state, Tassie doesn't like Victoria. Like it's a thing. Vic don't like anyone because that's who they are. I would love to see it back. I want to see the best players play with the best players. We had one. When did we have one last?
Oh, we had the fire relief game.
Charity event.
Yeah. See,
so players probably aren't even playing
great
harder.
For the charity, but again, it's half-assed.
Yeah. Were they playing like at full capacity? Like were they trying to have a crack in it? Probably not. They're raising money for someone. Yeah. I would love to see it back. When would they have it though? You would like it too?
Yeah. I look. This is when I don't know when they would have it.
It's above our pay grade.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know if you would have it for the gun players at the end of the season and just do a little carnival then and give them more time off again to get right for the upcoming season.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking granny week. So if you're not playing the granny, 2 teams not playing in the granny, don't have your surgeries just yet. You can play in the rep game and earn 20 grand cash each. I don't know what it is. Whatever incentives you can get. That's when I would have it. Week leading into the granny, you could have a sold out MCG for that.
Yeah.
4 teams. It makes sense. There's 4 teams. So sorry to ACT, Tassie, bloody NT, all these other territories and states that aren't big enough.
Yeah.
It would be WA, Vic, SA, and
Probably Queensland.
Maybe Allies or some shit.
Yeah, maybe an Allies team.
An
That's
Allies
good.
team.
That's good.
That would go amazing. I would like literally fly down to watch that.
Let's bring it back.
Bring it back.
But don't half-ass it.
Don't half-ass it.
It's above our pay grade on how you're going to do it.
Way above.
But we want it back.
Every single fan does. The only people that don't want it back is that clubs.
Yeah.
They don't want their players
they don't
getting
want their
stitched
players getting injured.
Mate, that's what I'm saying. The season's already done.
NRL seem to do it throughout the year, and
Three of the bastards. Middle of the year.
And they're all right.
And the best team's still playing the granny.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they get serious injuries from these games.
Yeah.
And they get worn out, and then they got the rep teams and shit.
Yeah.
They need it because they aren't a very marketable game. It is the best thing going I've been to, I reckon.
So
one of the best things. Top 3 events I've been to is the Origin, AFL Granny, and maybe a strip club on the weekend.
But I'll go with Kane Corns on this one.
What do you say?
Don't half-ass it.
Yep, love that. He probably played in a
If
couple.
we're going to do it, put all your chips in.
All your chips you have from the deli, chuck them in because it is
everything.
It would just blow up. I know it
Yeah.
would. If we get 38,000 to the Indigenous All-Stars versus Fremantle in a pracky match, I can't
Imagine
fathom.
the MCG in the footballing home.
In
Melbourne.
the grand final week.
Huge.
Yeah, it would be sight to see, and I would be down there in a heartbeat. I'll be trying to do something down there. But
For sure.
Bring it back for sure. We don't know when or how to do it during the year. That's an idea. But if not, just figure it out.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Do something fucking good for once, AFL. Now, for the people at home, this episode is going to be fucking sketchy as because these 2 cameras heated and blew up, so I'm using my old one. So chop and change, all good. We got through it regardless. Matho, intro was elite.
Thank you.
You're all over it. I'm that excited for season 2025. I've never had this feeling.
I've been prepping myself for a big 2025 for the cameras, for myself. Want the podcast to go well. I love our listeners. I love the support we get. So I've been putting in the work.
Yeah, that is episode 19, brought to you by Joe Fortune. Joe Fortune, we are ecstatic. It is like 9 days away before Brisbane take on Geelong.
Ooh.
You're excited.
Get your popcorn now because it's going to sell out.
Yeah, it's going to sell out. Get your boner out.
Get it out right now.
Get it out with this guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, done.